Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning, Carolyn. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good. It's raining. Is it raining over there where you're at? It's storming over here.
No, it's nice and breezy and dark, but
Okay.
no rain.
Okay.
So,
Well, it's pretty bad. It's been storming all night and today, so hopefully it'll let up a little bit. It's a little cold out there too.
a little chilly. Yeah, my daughter got me a permission for later today, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it or not. So if not today,
Oh,
tomorrow.
okay.
So,
Well, I got us up on here. We're live on Facebook. We got a few viewers in here. So we're just gonna get this started, Jerry, and see how it's gonna go.
okay.
Um, For those uh, excuse me, I can't talk. I guess I need to have a little bit more coffee. Not awake yet. For those out there that don't know who Jerry is, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, Jerry?
Jerry Hitson. I'm a member of the Central Florida Metal Detecting Club and webmaster for the club also. I've been detecting since 1988, and just building boats for 37 years, and just enjoying the hobby. Except for the last few months, I've been homebound.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. So man, I was 7 years old when you started detecting, Jerry. You've been detecting for a while.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
what do you currently swing?
Right now, I've got the Equinox 800.
Mm-hmm.
I've got the 3030 also, but I've been
Okay.
having shoulder problems, so it's set for almost a year.
Oh, wow.
So unfortunately, yeah.
Do you
But yeah,
like
the,
that Equinox?
the Equinox is phenomenal because it's lightweight. It's so versatile
Mm-hmm.
and deep, and it just um, I understand it where I really didn't fully understand the 3030. So I've gone through pretty much every aspect of the 800 and feel pretty confident with it.
Okay. And you said when we were talking earlier, you said that you got a couple tips with the Equinox that you are going to share.
Yeah, I found that with the Equinox, well, the one thing that they've always said is, your cell phone. Turn your cell phone off whenever you're, swinging it. I've
Right.
never had a problem. I've had two different cell phones on me, and never had a problem with that. But with power lines, you get near power lines, or just, for some anomaly, like in South Carolina, we did a relic hunt, and even Don Hickey, he had problems with this 800, and there were just certain areas that it just started pinging so bad you couldn't do anything. So what I've done was I've gone to and let me bring it up, see if I can bring this
Okay.
up real quick,
Okay.
and I'll probably have to get out of the way just a little bit to be able to show it. Um, yeah, with I got to go this way. The at the very bottom, which would be down
Right.
there.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep. I see it.
yeah. Now there's a button there with like the electric thing on it,
Yeah.
which
The
is
noise
actually under
cancel.
under the 39 also.
Right.
If you put that on uh, 20, then it absolutely knocks out any problem that you have with electricity. I was
Okay.
able to go under um, the power lines with no problem, and
Okay.
and in South Carolina, it was a lifesaver because we paid $300 for this hunt,
Hmm.
and once Don Hickey put that 20 in megahertz, it just knocked everything out. It kept the same depth, and he was able to swing for another couple of days without pulling his hair out.
Well,
It
that's
was
good.
nice.
That's good tip to share with everybody. We do
Yeah.
have Vicky's on. She says good morning, and Ace is
Vicky,
on, and he says good morning as well.
good
So
morning.
good morning, everyone. Now, Jerry, since you've been detecting for a while, I know that you've had your hands on a lot of different detectors over the years. What's some of your favorite old school detectors?
I had the oh boy, what was it? The whites. I can't even remember. SL. whatever. I think it was a 5,000 or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. But the first one that I actually bought was an older whites, came with no instruction manual. And I lived, in South Orlando, and the place I lived in used to be an orange grove for the Holdens, which it's a family that goes way back in Orlando. And I was able to pull a few silver dimes, kids stuff, the aluminum plates, and
Yeah.
silverware, kid stuff. And then I get right between both properties, and I pop up a 1880 silver dollar.
Oh,
So I mean,
wow.
I was hooked. I was hooked at that point. For having a metal detector that I had to learn everything about it myself. And just absolutely loved it. But yeah, the old whites is what I used to use.
Jerry, what actually got you into metal detecting? What made you decide to get into metal detecting in 88?
I always wanted to, even as a kid. I knew that, and I'm talking, 7 years old, walking down the beach. I knew that a silver coin would turn black. So
Okay.
I always would look. We did a lot of camping as a family, and my dad, he took us to this one place, and it had a lake. And I see this guy with a metal detector, this older guy, and I'm talking, this is back in the early 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and this guy is swinging, and he goes and puts the coil in the water. I'm like, you can actually put that coil in the water, so, and I'm just a kid, and, ever since then, I just always wanted to. And finally, I got on the different forums, back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
and then just went ahead and bit the bullet on a used one and loved it.
That's one thing that I talk about quite often is I think everybody's got a little bit of a treasure hunter in their heart, one way or another. And what better way to bring out that treasure hunter than metal detecting? Because you get to learn so much fine stuff, and you never know. One day when you think you're gonna dig up that aluminum can, next thing you know, it's something really amazing. So it's a good
Right.
hobby.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine's usually the aluminum can, though.
Yeah, mine is too so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
Albert, it says hello from Ocala. We have Ken from Toledo, and Mike Amanda Fusion joined as well. Ace said that he's in Michigan in the hospital,
Oh,
and we have Christopher who joined from Scotland. So good morning,
nice.
everyone.
Good morning. Yeah, I was able
Um,
to find the South Carolina state seal button up in Ocala.
oh, that's amazing.
Hmm.
So would you consider yourself a relic hunter, a beach hunter, all around? What do you consider yourself, Jerry?
I'm, whatever is around. If you get bored, there's always parks. Of course, all the parks are closed now.
Right.
But I would, I don't know. I really like the relic aspect of it, and I love the beach. But whenever you go out relic hunting and you pick up a button that you're the first person to touch since that soldier button that uniform,
Yeah.
that's cool when you find that kind of stuff.
I know when you were hunting down there in Orlando, you found something that was really odd to find in the Orlando area and
Yeah,
probably a high bucket lister for most people. You want to talk about that?
yeah, yeah. There was a guy that I worked with, and he had passed away, and they tore the house down, and I was able to go over there and metal detect, and
Hmm.
went over. I'm just going through it, and I'm still kind of new, and I dig up this buckle, and it says U.S. on it, and I'm back. When we lived in South Carolina, my brother had one. It was just a repo,
Hmm.
and I'm thinking the same thing. I about threw it back in the hole, and I looked on the back, and it had two puppy paws, and it had a hook and led back. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's too much quality, for a junker. So I had to
Hmm.
test it out, and it was an actual Civil War U.S. buckle. And I think what happened, of course, there was no battles in South Orlando, but I think what happened was it was probably brought home by a veteran, and
Hmm.
somewhere along the line, the grandkids or great grandkids, whoever, played with
Yeah.
it, sit out in the yard.
Yep.
But it
That's
was
probably what happened.
great find, and I didn't have to travel far to get it. And like you said, sister, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ace would like to know, have you found any arrowheads while you're out detecting?
I sure have. Taft is just south of where I live, and they had a park over there. And I was digging, and I came up with a white arrowhead. And from what I understand, here in Florida, you didn't have those. That was more like North Carolina, and the Indians would trade arrowheads. Now I don't know that much about them, but that's what I understood about the white arrowhead that I had found. And then in Sanford, I'd found a large spear, well, a wide spear tip, and then went to Tampa, and I was able to find a tool that they use for scraping. So yeah, I found quite a few artifacts, while metal detecting.
Christopher said that's amazing. And we have Chester from Oil City, Pennsylvania saying good morning. And we have Daniel McDonald. He said, Pop Can Dan from Toronto, Ontario. Please stay safe, everyone. So you got quite a few people watching in, Jerry.
Great.
Since they're all watching, why don't you talk about one of your most memorable hunts?
Would that be about a gangster?
That might be. That was a pretty cool hunt.
Yeah. I don't know. Most memorable. I think it'd probably have to be the Ma Barker hunt. We went to Ocklawaha, Florida, and we were invited to go up there, and with the club, certain members of the club to go up there. And what our purpose was to organize any artifacts that we had found. And what I did back then, I had the 3030. Of course, you had the GPS on it. So anytime that anybody would find something, we documented the GPS location for all this. And what they were doing was they're going to be moving the house to the other side of the lake. And there was someone else buying the property. So they wanted us to come in and help with that aspect of it. But also there was supposed to be something buried on the property. And they really kind of didn't let us know that, but there was Alan James had found a chamber pot, and everyone gathered around thinking that was going to be, but it wasn't. But there was plenty of stuff found. We found all kinds of bullets and casings. We got, from the Tommy guns, what were they, 50 cal? No, not 50s. Might have been, I don't remember what the caliber was on them, but then we found the long rifles, and of course, from the 38 pistols, so found quite a bit from the shootout.
Some people might not know that was the longest shootout in history with the FBI, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
That just had to have been amazing to be on that hunt and find that stuff.
Yeah. Now I do have pictures that I could throw on the background real quick. If that's okay, or
well, you're pulling them up. Christopher wants to know what's the oldest silver coin that you found over here?
The oldest one I found was on a metal detecting hunt, relic hunt. It was 1838 dime, and that's as far back as I've gone.
Okay.
So I it seems like I really haven't found the quality diamonds and silver. But but anyhow, that's the Ma Barker house. That's when they had it loaded up, and they were going to be putting it on the other side of the lake. And then I've got another one here. Now this is Alan James with the chamber pot.
Okay.
And, as you can see, there's a Model T.
I see it right there.
Jack, and then a bottle that came out of it right there.
Okay.
And then this tree always fascinated me. It's just full of bullet holes. That was
from the shootout.
Yeah.
Wow. And the house was still full of all the bullet holes and everything. They just left it.
Right. Yeah.
I see all of you guys there in that picture.
Yeah.
Christopher wants to know what the rules and regulations over in America as regards to finding stuff, age, and things. So it really varies from state to state, county to county. There's nothing. England in them, they've got a really good system set up for their metal detecting. It works out great. Over here, it's so different. from
Yeah,
no matter
yeah.
where you go. There's nothing set in stone,
Well,
really.
everything is fair over in Europe. Well, I don't
Hmm.
know about Europe, but England,
Yeah.
um, where they appraise it. They find if it's you know I forget the word, but if the museum wants it, if
Hmm.
it's a special artifact. If not, then they give you fair market value, and the property owner, is split between them.
Hmm.
So, but here in Florida, they got that 50-year rule, so
Yeah.
you could find a pull tab, and
Yes.
I mean, the whole thing's a little strange. But what I like is, like on the beach, you're good. As long as you stay out of the national parks and state parks and all that kind of stuff, from the dune line to the water line, and in some places, and in other places where it's a wide open public beach, of course, you got the water also.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I do like hunting the beaches. I remember I ran into you down on the beach, and I
Mhm.
look up to you as a detectorist, and I had taken fill out detecting, and I only had one scoop, and here I am digging a hole with my lush digger. And I'll tell you, Jerry, I was so embarrassed that you walked up on me because I look like a complete newbie. I'm like, why's Jerry got to come up and see me looking like this?
Yeah, I
It was
remember that
pretty
day.
funny.
There was a lot of cuts. There was a
There
lot of
was.
deep cuts.
Yeah, that was after we passed by you. I went up to Phil, and it was only his second time detecting. And he's like, "Hey, I got this little chain I found." I said, "Really?" He was using the Equinox, and he starts pulling it out. And I'm like, "Put that
Oh,
back in your pocket." It was a 14 karat gold, thick gold
oh,
chain. It was about maybe 24, 28 inches long. I'm like, "Holy cow, Phil. Okay, my little tungsten ring, I'm not even going to show you it."
yeah. Now you're rubbing it in because I missed it.
Yeah. Ace wants to know if you look for shark teeth at all.
um, I have found them in my scoop. We go down to Venice, Florida. Of course, that's the
Hmm.
shark tooth capital of Florida,
Yep.
and you'll find them pretty regular there. My mom, somehow, she had found a megalodon, and
Oh wow.
that's something I've always wanted to find. But I really don't even know what you do to try and find something that large.
Yeah.
Digging big holes. I don't know,
I have no idea.
but they're pretty awesome.
Tony wants to know if you ever found a gold coin. He found one in Harrison, New Jersey, 1911 Great Britain gold coin. Have you found that gold coin yet, Jerry?
No, no, I've got one, but it was bought. No, I'd love to be able to find something like that. That's definitely a bucket lister.
And then we have, let's see, Wes wants to know why on the beaches is the dune line important? Is it because of protecting wildlife, turtles, or something else?
I'm not really sure why, but they certainly don't want you in the dunes. I think a lot of it because the dune line is there to protect the you know behind it,
Yeah, the roads from
and
washing down and stuff.
yeah, and plus the sea oats. They don't want you picking sea oats, and all this other. But yeah, I
Yeah.
really don't know.
Hmm. Let's see. And Rob said, "Good morning. Thanks for doing these. I like listening to them while I'm working from home."
That
That, that's kind of why we're doing it, just to break up your timeline, let everybody hear about treasure. And if anybody wants to be a guest on here, just send me over an email or comment on here. My email's Carolyn at Kellyco Detectors, and we'll get you on. We like hearing all the different stories. Man, Jerry, I can't even imagine all the hunts that you've been on. I know you've been on relic hunts, looking for Civil War. I've been on a few, but was there any really good Civil War hunts that you've been on that stick out as a memory?
um, with Dave Gascon, we would go up to Alachua, and which again was around Ocala, and that's where I found my South Carolina button. But also I found the flattened musket ball, or for poker chips.
Yeah.
I found a Confederate stirrup up there.
Wow.
I actually found more good stuff in Florida than I have, in the
Really?
States. Yeah, yeah.
If you do that history and you really, dive in and try to find out what was there, there are sources out there where you can find out about the old sites that most people don't know about. But if
Hmm.
you take that time and you really research it, you can find some good hunts.
Right, right.
I know that Jim was telling me, I was talking to Jim. Jim's going to be on here tomorrow, and he said something. You guys went looking for an old schoolhouse or something sometime, the two
Yeah,
of
what we
you.
did was there's a software called Maprika,
Mm-hmm.
and what it does is you can take an old map and you put pin marks on certain locations, that don't change, like lakes and different landmarks, and then you do whenever you're doing that, it actually does it with a current map, and then it overlays, and then you got your GPS, so you're traveling on an 1800s map.
Mm-hmm.
And on the south side of Orlando Airport, we'd found, on the map it said SH, which always
Mm-hmm.
stands for schoolhouse. And
Right.
of course, it was on private property, and we didn't go through the whole rigmarole to try and find it. So, but that was the main thing. We just wanted to see if we could actually locate something like that. But we never did go on the property or talk to the property owner. But it's
Okay.
a pretty amazing tool how it can take you exactly where you want to go on, on an older map. So,
Let's see here. Ace says in Michigan, they don't want us digging or walking on the dunes because the dunes help control erosion. That's so the
hmm,
streets don't wash out. Water
right.
levels are very high in Michigan, and homes are falling down the dunes and into Lake Michigan. Plus, landowners usually own up to the high water lines, so it's their property in the dunes.
Hmm.
And then Wes wants to know on the mob hunt, did you find any casino or poker chips there?
No, there was mainly just like coins. I know there were some barbers found there. Jim Tippett did really well there. And but the artifacts, that's it basically just from the shootout. We found some household items like a key to the house. There was a
Okay.
Model T key found, a Ford key. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
for a tractor or a car or whatever. But yeah, there was a lot of stuff found. I've got them on my videos on YouTube. I'm Swamp Trump, and I've got the Mar Barker videos on there. So they're pretty interesting.
Awesome. Um, Now, I wasn't really going to bring this up, but something happened after you guys or did some videoing inside the house. Something came up. You want to kind of mention what happened?
Okay, yeah. Rob Hill, whenever he got back, he had posted a video, and he had a lady call, who's like a psychic lady or whatever, and she says, "Do you know that you have a disembodied voice on your video? When you were going up the stairs?" He says, "No," and she said, "If you go to, whatever the minute was in the video," and he actually heard it. Now I've got a video, and I tried to get a hold of Rob to get permission to do it, and we're buddies. I know he would let me, but let me, Rob Hill, if you can find him on our club site, he would love to have any metal detecting patches. So I'll put that plug out for him, in
Okay.
return to playing this video. Yeah, let me see if I can get this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this laptop around. So
Okay.
don't get dizzy. And let me get this thing playing. It's pretty interesting.
It is pretty interesting.
I would spend a lot of time here, but I want to take you upstairs where they actually, Ramal Barker and.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on.
Now this is he was just kind of doing a video to show the
Sorry.
house.
Can you see it?
I could see it.
Where they actually, Ramal Barker and Fred actually died. So I'm going to walk upstairs here. Hopefully the lighting is okay. I walk upstairs here. Hopefully the lighting is okay. I walk upstairs here. Hopefully the lighting is okay.
It's really hard to hear it, but I heard it because I saw the video and nobody knew it was there till that lady said, "Did you hear this in your video?" And what does the voice say?
It says, "Come on up." It's just so weird and faint. But that on the last one, I enhanced it, and you can definitely hear the words "Come on up."
Yeah, that was
No,
crazy. It
yeah.
gave me goosebumps when
Yeah.
when I heard it.
Yeah.
Um, so Sean wants to know if we have any news on the Garrett Apex. The only thing that I know is if you go onto the Garrett Facebook page, I signed up last night. You can sign up to be part of the new, the reveal. It's going to be on May 15th. So if you go on there, you could just sign up, get a notification. They'll let you know when you're going to go live. And I think it says that they're going to have a chance. The first 5,000 people who sign up are going to be entered into a random drawing to try out the Apex before everyone else. So go to their website or their Facebook page and you can check it out. You have any idea what you think this new Garrett machine is going to be, Jerry?
I'm not really a big Garrett fan.
Really?
I'm sorry. But no, I think that they have to come out with multi-frequency, something that works fantastic on the beach, like the Mind Lab series. And I think that's probably what it would be. I'm guessing.
What do you think the biggest advantage of having the multi-frequency machine on the beach or relic hunting or wherever you go? What do you think is the best advantage?
It just, I really don't know how all that works, but I know that the more frequencies you put into the ground, the more you don't have to worry about the salt. You don't have to worry about mineralization, and it just cleans everything up a lot better.
Debbie Smakoski, she's going to be a guest on Tuesday. If you guys have any questions for Debbie about Mind Labs, it's going to be really interesting. And it's actually going to be Pepsi with Debbie that day because she loves her Pepsi. But she has a really good analogy when it comes to the multi-frequency. And she uses it because she likes fishing. And it's like if you throw one fishing hook out there, you got a good chance of catching a fish. You throw 5 hooks out there, you're probably going to do really good and go home with a full belly that day. So that's kind of how the multi-frequency works. It just gives you an advantage. So Patrick is asking me, what's in your coffee? Is your coffee black or do you have it doctored up, sugar, creamer? Well, I do things a little bit different every day. Today, I actually am drinking my energy drink in the coffee. But when I have my coffee, it's usually full. I actually hate the taste of coffee, so I doctor it up. I fill it full of creamer, flavored creamer. So, Jerry, since you've been hunting for a while, you've tried out tons of machines, you found some amazing finds. If you could give some advice to a new detectorist out there, what would be the best piece of advice you could give them?
For starting out, good things that are found take time. But the main thing is, get something that you can grow with, and read your manual and then go out and use it. And then after you've used it a little bit, reread that manual again because everything makes sense at that point. And also proper digging tools, have decent tools instead of, like a garden scraper or something like, and, just things that'll help you give you a better advantage.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's one of the most important things that I don't hear it mentioned very often is having the right digging tool. Practicing when I started, I was scared to go to a park because I didn't want to destroy it and leave a mess and people look at me and ruin the hobby. So just having the right shovel and the right techniques is very important when you're first starting out.
Right.
So.
And cover your holes and take your trash.
Exactly. Yep.
Yep.
Richard wants to know where the Knoxville detectors are made. They are made in Turkey. So, and that Simplex is a pretty impressive detector for the price point. I can't believe waterproof wireless headphones under $339. I mean, that's crazy. There you go. You got one, Jerry. Patrick said he tuned in late, and he wants to know what your go-to detector is.
Again, it's the Equinox 800. Fantastic machine. I don't think you can beat it for the price. Even with the 600, the 600, you're going to do well with it, but you just have a better advantage, with the 800 for a couple hundred more. It's really worth it.
Absolutely. Well, Jerry, it's already 10 o'clock. It went by pretty quick. So I want to thank you for joining us, and thank you everybody for watching. And we'll be on here tomorrow with Jim Fielding. That's going to be an interesting one, the professor, because he's
I'll
got
be
tons
there.
of stories. So thank you again, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you get your coffee.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.